Hey, what's going on, people? Welcome to another episode of Ricky Speaks Sport with me, your host, Ricky Hayward-Williams. So Liverpool end their 4-game run of losses with an emphatic win in the Champions League against Eintracht Frankfurt. Congratulations to the team. Wow, 5 goals, 5-1 in the Champions League. The first thing that I want to talk about is the selection that Arne Slot made. He had some big calls to make. Does he keep in Kirkes, who we bought for a decent amount of money in the summer? Who does he go for? Bradley to start or Frimpong to start? What does he do with his 2 strikers? We've got 2 number 9s vying for the same spot pretty much. Hugo Ekitike, who's hit the ground running for Liverpool and has been in great form. Or do we play the player that we think is probably superior, who cost way more money in the transfer market in the summer, in Alexander Isak? Which one do you play? What did he do? What was he supposed to do? And I feel like he found a solution. But whenever there's a positive, there's always a negative. What goes up must come down. Basically, he changed the system, which is what a lot of Liverpool fans wanted. I'm a Liverpool fan. I wanted him to change something and kind of make some kind of adjustment to the situation at hand. And it looks like the guy that sits at number 3 on the all-time scorers list at Liverpool FC, Mo Salah, the guy that's bailed us out 1 billion times, the guy that scored a bag of goals, was the casualty for this match. And I say casualty, it's not a massive deal. He didn't make the starting 11, he still got to play, but we'll get to Mo Salah very, very shortly. What I want to talk about is the formation change. Now, on paper, it looks like a rigid 4-4-2. Obviously, we know that's not the case. It's more of a fluid 4-4-2. 2 banks of 4 with both number 9s playing up top, Hugo and Alexander Isak. And I thought it was a great move. I thought it was bold. I thought it took balls to do it. And I don't think I've ever seen Liverpool play a 4-4-2 for about 15 years, maybe? Looked kind of wild, actually. So let's talk Florian Wirst. Florian Wirst was still in the team. They're persisting with him, and I'm really glad that they did. He played right midfield. Now, he was supposed to be on the right when we didn't have the ball. So while we're defending, Florian Wirst occupies the right-hand side of midfield. But without the ball, he's got a bit of a free rein, it looked like. He was kind of going wherever the play dictated him to go and needed him to be creative. And it worked. First game where he got 2 assists. Probably could have got a goal as well, let's be honest. If Mo Salah, when he comes on, passed him, squared him that tap-in of a goal, potentially. That didn't happen. We'll get back to that. But Florian played really well. I was really happy for him. He looked like the Florian Wirtz that we've seen on the highlight reels, or we saw when he played for Bayer Leverkusen under Xabi Alonso. He looked free-flowing, he looked comfortable. And I guess people were making a thing of it. He was back in Germany. He would have been to Eintracht Frankfurt, many, many times, been to that stadium. Maybe the familiarity kind of helped him, who knows? But all I care about is that he created for us yesterday. He was aggressive, he was productive, and he was able to show his worth. He was able to show his skill set, which is what we want. And hopefully that is the base for him to then build on that, as an individual player, but also as the team as well. Also, massive kudos. Big up to Curtis Jones, the Scouser in the team. I'm so happy for him. He came in, obviously Ryan Gravenberch wasn't available for selection, so he had a big job to play, a big role to fill. And I think for the majority of the game, he was the pace setter. He set the pace of the team. He was the guy that just ran his socks off, and he had a good pass in him as well, could pass forward, could break the line sometimes. I was really, really happy with how Curtis Jones performed in that game yesterday, and I really hope he gets the recognition, and I really hope he can also build on that performance as well, and hopefully can build his confidence, and he can maybe break into the team as well. Have to talk about playing both of our number 9s up front. Big up to Arne Slot. He thought to himself, you know what? I can't not choose one without choosing the other. Hugo Ekitike is the smaller signing, if there is such a thing. We bought him for less money. However, the guy has shown his quality since he's been here. He hit the ground running. He's scored a bag of goals since he's been here. It's been great to watch him. He showed his quality. He looks comfortable on the ball. He looks like he's acclimatized to life at Liverpool much sooner than a lot of us maybe thought he would. From what I've seen of the two, obviously I knew more about Alexander Isak before we got Ekitike. So in my mind, Alexander Isak is probably the better goal scorer, maybe the better finisher. But I think Hugo Ekitike, from what I've seen so far, is the better all-round footballer. He's a proper baller, and I love his build-up play. He's got a Roberto Firmino about him. I know we always try and compare people to Roberto Firmino. We did it with Gakpo a couple of seasons ago, and Firmino is a king. He's a god at Liverpool, absolute legend. But he does have something about him. He can be part of the build-up. He does nice touches. He linked up with Wirst really well yesterday, so that was really great to see. Andy Robbo in for Kerkez. Now I know Andy Robertson isn't the Andy Robbo of 2019. He has declined a lot because he hit the top of the tree. He was one of the best left backs in the world at one point, in my humble opinion. He was incredible. So, the style of Jurgen Klopp's team, when Klopp was there, you got to run your socks off. And Andy Robbo, his style is up and down. So he was pretty much running to the ground. So it's understandable that he's declined on that side of things. He hasn't got the pace anymore that he used to have, but he's still got the game intelligence. He's still got the pass. He still understands positionally where he's supposed to be. He's still got that relationship with Virgil, which is so important. And he had a great role in one of the goals yesterday. Very happy for Andy Robbo, biding his time. I actually think because of those relationships on the pitch, whether it be with Andy Robbo and Gakpo, Andy Robbo and Virgil, we need to keep him in the team. While we're going through this transitional period, while we're going through, this situation where the team and the identity of the team is still trying to find its feet, I think we keep him in the team. And that's not to say that you can't sub him off at 60 minutes and bring on Kerkez. You can do that. I don't really see a problem with that. But I think for now, we need a bit of stability, and I think it showed yesterday. So I'd keep Andy Robbo in the team. And Kerkez, I'm not saying that Kerkez is miles off it. He hasn't been playing the way that we know that he can, the way that we saw him play last season and the season before that. But he'll get there. And maybe it's a case of drip feeding him in rather than just putting everything on his shoulders straight away and hoping that the guy doesn't sink. So, make it more of a collaborative effort between the two of them. But I think Andy Robbo needs to be there for the majority of the time at the moment to help steady that ship, in my humble opinion. All right, let's get to the deep water. Mo Salah didn't make the starting 11. Now, obviously, when you make big changes, there are going to be some casualties. And I personally don't look at it like a casualty. I think, I've heard Mikel Arteta talk about this and people have laughed at him, but I kind of agree. You have people that start the game, and then you have people that could be brought on to help you finish the game just as strong as you start it. I don't think there's a problem with that. Mo Salah, there's no doubting his quality. There's no doubting his contribution to Liverpool FC. He's the Egyptian king. But he is getting older, as we know, and he has to understand that, we're going to need to rotate him. We're going to need to protect him more. But more importantly for me is we need to find a way to utilize Mo Salah, to maximize our use of Mo Salah to the nth degree, because he hasn't fallen off, in my humble opinion. Is he going for a bit of a bad patch? Yeah, he is. But the whole team have been going for a bit of a bad patch. So all of those fans out there and all of the pundits and people that are just going after him because he's signed a new contract and, well, maybe that's why he's not performing. And that's all, I won't swear, but I think that's nonsense. Mo Salah wants to win. Mo Salah is a winner. You don't get to be the level that Mo Salah has got to by not caring and not wanting to be the best that you can possibly be. And we know that he looks after himself. I just think that the team's going for a transitional period at the moment, and we're not utilising him to the best of the team's ability. And that's the team all over. So we need to figure it out. This is what Arne Slot has paid the big bucks for. I'm sure he will do it. But Mo Salah isn't washed. Mo Salah isn't like a shadow of his former self. He's going for a bit of a dip at the moment, but the whole team have been going for a bit of a dip. Did we drop him? Yes, Arne Slot dropped him. That doesn't mean that he needs to be surplus to requirements. That's just absolutely wild. So please get that out of your heads. Now, it was reported that Mo Salah was a bit of a frustrated figure at the end of the game. He went over, acknowledged the fans, the away fans, the Liverpool fans, but then, made his way down the tunnel quite quickly after that. And subsequently, I think there were reports, I haven't seen it myself, but it's been reported that he has taken down some Liverpool imagery from his social media page. Sounds a bit Darwin Núñez-esque, which, was never a good thing when Darwin did that. Look, the bottom line is this. Mo Salah is used to playing, used to starting for Liverpool. He had a situation in the game as well where he could have passed the ball to Florian Wirst, who was completely open in the middle of the goal, and it would have been an easy tap in. Liverpool would win the game 6-1, at least. He didn't do that. He chose to shoot. The goalie saved it. It makes things look even worse right now. But I just think we should all remember what Mo Salah has done for this club, for Liverpool. Fans of rival teams understand Mo Salah probably had the best season any attacker has ever had in the Premier League last season. So, put some respect on his name. The guy's a genius. The guy is a legend. He's going through it at the minute, but he's a top player. He'll come through this. And Arne Slot, I really hope that it doesn't escalate into anything bigger, because Arne Slot had to make a decision. He saw something where he thought to himself, look, if I take Mo out of the team for this game, out of the starting 11 for this game, it could maybe help us out. It worked. If it didn't work, that's a different story, but it did work. So I think everyone should just calm down. Mo will be integrated back into the first 11 at some point. We need to figure out how to use him. And once we do, I'm positive he will be absolutely at the top of his game again. So yeah, all good. The goals yesterday were a nice thing, I can't lie. It's been a few games since we've been able to enjoy that many goals. Ekitike, Virgil and Ibu getting on the score sheet, and then Gakpo in the second half along with Szoboszlai. So happy for Sobo. The guy runs his socks off. He has got the quality that we need in this team. Does this end my concerns regarding Liverpool and their form? Great that we've ended the slump, but no, it doesn't. I feel like we probably need to go as many games that we lost, but we need to win that amount of games going forward before I can start to even think about relaxing. But yeah, we're on the right path, and it starts or continues with Brentford on Saturday. Jordan Henderson, first time playing against his old team since he left to go to Al Ettifaq, I think, in Saudi a couple of years ago. Will be an emotional affair for him, I'm sure. But sentiment aside, let's hope we smash them. Good luck, Liverpool. All right, but listen, are you convinced that Liverpool's concerns are over? Are they back on track? Let me know in the comments. Please smash a like on the video as well, and also hit subscribe as well. I would love to welcome you in on this journey, and let's do this thing together. I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Get in the game.